that page might be a little confusing for some. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to actually uh, log on to the KW command. And as you can see, I've logged on to Meny's KW command. So from the home page, from the dashboard, I'm going to go here to the consumer. And although this is review for a lot of you, I'm just quickly going to go. I'm quickly going to go through it. So when you click on that agent site, it leads you to the landing pages. These are standalone landing pages. Your dashboard here might be empty because you haven't put together any landing pages, and that's okay. But I'm going to click up here to agent site pages. Now this list is the list of the pages that you have on your actual website. Right here at the top, you'll see your URL for your website. But we're going to start from the beginning as if maybe you hadn't configured your site yet. And I'll go right up here to the right and click on Configure Site. The first dialog box asks if you want to do the KW agent site, and we're going to click that. Yes, we do, and submit. We're going to get started. This next page is just acknowledgement of compliance. We'll click that. And here you go. You'll see the progression bar at the top, and we're just going to work our way to the end. So if you have not logged on to this before and you haven't set or claimed your subdomain, this is where you would do it here. So Meny already has his subdomain set. If yours was empty, you could put in what you want and click Confirm Domain. And as long as no one else in KW had that subdomain, it would confirm it for you. The marketing profile should already auto-populate because you have that it already set up in your marketing profile. So I'm going to click Save and Continue. The theme here, red theme or dark theme, kind of talks about the coloring of the buttons and the frames. On the home page, you can select a different tagline. It's default to read Find Your Dream Home, but you can put anything you want there. I've seen agents actually put the name of their business or their first and last name just to make it more identifiable. And then here is where you can either upload your own photos for the slideshow, or you can leave the ones that are here. We're going to go down to the bottom. We're just going to leave these for now. I'll click Save and Continue. And as you can see up here, we're going along the progression bar, almost at the end. So now we're at the page that I mentioned earlier, the company profile. And this is what a lot of agents just are stumbled by. They don't know what to use this page for. So in a lot of the offices that are using KW Concierge, it seems like it makes a lot of sense if an agent would tweak this a little bit and turn this into a KW Concierge page. Now, I will admit that this is probably not the best format and you can be more elaborate with creating pages, but since this one is already here, I'm just going to show you how you can quickly tweak it. We'll start right here and change the name. I'm going to call it KW Concierge. It asks if you want to change the slug. The slug is the very ending of the URL. So when the user is on this particular page, the slug will identify what page they're on. So I'm going to keep it the same, KW Concierge. And here you can write a quick description. This is just where you want to maybe put some keywords. I'm going to put, find out how you can sell your home for more. Okay, next section is the content. This is where we can get into the text and the images. Oh, actually, I forgot to add an image here. I'm going to click upload an image. And this right here is for the image at the top. So I already have an image saved. Find that. And you'll see once you upload the image, you can kind of adjust what will be seen. I'm going to center it, and I'll set that image. Oh, look, it took away everything. I'll leave that. Now, in the intro paragraph, this is just right under the picture. I'm actually going to just steal the verbiage from Alan's page for the sake of time. And you can put whatever you want. We have lots of KW Concierge content out there, and we also have our website, so it's not too difficult to come up with something. Change this to Meny. For the headlines, I'm actually not going to put a headline. I'm just going to put some content. Go back to Alan's page. Fill this content. And if I didn't want to use this picture, I would upload a new picture here. Now I'm on the second content block. I'm going to take away the header and grab some more text. You can also grab it from a Word document if you wanted to type it up yourself. There. And like I said, you can add another image there. For the footer headline here, see what I put on Alan's. I'll use that. And here you could put your phone number or other information. So we're done with that, and I'll click continue. Now the rest of this Meny already has set up, so I'm just going to quickly go through it so that you can see the end result. So we've completed the progression bar. So if we get out of this, now when we go to agent site pages and click on Meny's URL, if it's saved correctly, he has a KW Concierge page now. Oh, and I should have uploaded new images because it didn't save the ones we had, but that's okay. That's an easy fix. But anyhow, this is how you would go about kind of tweaking this already existing page so it doesn't just look like you didn't know what to do with it. So that is the KW Concierge page. And of course, you could make it something else too. You know, you don't have to make it the Concierge. So now we'll talk about adding a page. I'm going to add the Homekeeper blog. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Homekeeper, that's just an app that's built for realtors. And the nice thing about that is it's KW approved, and it has two different widgets. The first widget is, it's like a library of resources for your clients where you can put different categories of vendors. And, you know, it could be anything from air conditioning to inspectors. And it's just housed there as like a library for them. Then the other widget that we've been using a lot is a blog. So let me show you. If you don't have a HomeKeeper account yet, you would want to go to homekeeper.com/KW. So I've already logged into it, and this is what it looks like. Just make a note that HomeKeeper is actually misspelled. It's KEEPR. So it's homekeeper.com/KW. And it brings you to this page here. It's free for Keller Williams Associates. You'll make an account, put your first and last name in, set up a password. You'll want to have your headshot handy, also your office logo. And it'll ask you for pertinent information like your contact info, your DRE license and such. But it's very easy to do it, very quick. So Meny already has an account. I'll show you that. So when you log on to your HomeKeeper account, this is the dashboard. And where we want to focus on is right here at the widgets. There's two different widgets, as I mentioned. So first, I'm going to go here and show you how to get the page started. So we're back at the dashboard for consumer, and I'm going to go up here to create a new site. Now, when I do that, I'm going to click on my agent site because this will actually be a page on your website. Create page. The first thing you need to do is bring over a text box, and I can get to that by clicking on the content blocks over on the right side. I'm just going to throw that over there. And now I'll go back to that HomeKeeper site that I was on. I'm sorry, it keeps changing sizes. So I'm going to click on Embed Widget. And this is where you'll see there's two different widgets right up here. This one is for the library of vendors, and this one is for the blog. And that's what we want. So I'm going to click on that. Now, when you do that, there's two different widgets to choose from. We want this iframe here. I know it looks kind of techy with all the code, but it's not that hard. You just have to click copy code. That's all you have to remember. It kind of gives you a preview of what this blog looks like. So I've clicked copy code, and I'm going to go back to command. And in that text box that I inserted, I'm going to put the iframe, just paste it. So I have that. Now, with any page, you always have to add a widget. So the widgets are right up here at the top. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can choose a header or the team format, but I think here it makes the most sense to add the contact form. So I'm literally going to click on that and drag it over. You'll see a green line appears that just kind of guides you where you're dropping this widget. I'm going to put it right there. So we have the iframe here for the HomeKeeper, and here we have the contact form. One thing that you can also do here up at the top left is name this particular page. This name is just for you to keep track of. It's not anything that the user will see, or it won't appear on your website. So now I'm going to go down here where it says configure widgets. And when I click on that, it shows me that I added the contact form. It should have a green check, which means it's already configured and ready to go. But as a rule of thumb, I like to go back and just double check because there might be something that you want to change about this. In this case, the form at the top says contact us. I'm actually just going to change that to contact me. I could say contact Meny or something different. So that looks like enough. Also has a lot of questions here for the user to answer, and I think that's kind of aggressive, so I'm going to take a couple off. So when I'm done editing that widget, I'll click Save and Apply. And then I'll save my changes. It asks me if I want to publish this on my agent site. I'm going to say yes. So now it's here in my list. I'm going to come right here to the site and app settings. And now that we've configured the page, we're actually going to add it to the website. So I'll click on Site and App Settings. This is the whole back end of the website, basically. I'll click over here to the site pages. Okay, so now when I do that, I'm going to click down here at the bottom where it lists all the different site pages that Meny has on the site. I'm going to click Add Page. It allows me to select which page I want to add, and I'll pick the one that we just created. I named it Blog. You can also check by the date in case you forgot to name it. April 14th, that's the one I want. Click that and continue. I don't know where to put this. Okay, now we'll title the page. I'll call it My Blog. Again, you want to identify what page it is by changing the slug. That's the ending of the URL when they're on this page. And I'm just going to say blog. You could write a little SEO description there too. Okay, so I've done all this, and I'm going to save the changes here. So it shows me up here the settings were updated. So when I go back to Meny's site, and to get there, I'll come back up here where it shows my agent site pages. And this is a quick way to getting to the website, clicking right here, meny.kw.com. And there's his blog. Also in that list of site pages, I didn't show you, but you can rearrange the order of the menu bar. So, you know, here, if I wanted to move the blog up, I could have done that behind the scenes. So the neat thing about this blog is that, as I mentioned, it's free. It maintains itself. There really isn't anything you have to do. It will update automatically, maybe once a week or a little sooner with new articles. The articles are real estate specific or also home ownership in their subject. And the neat thing about this is if the user clicks on a particular article, here you can see on the side of the article Meny's information and his contact information and his picture pop up. So that's what's nice about this, is that it does kind of become your blog. And one thing right now, you know, I know a lot of agents are looking for content to share with their clients, kind of trying to keep at the top of mind. Well, an easy way to do that is after you've added this to your website, you can come up here and grab this URL, and then you can use it in an email or you can share it on Facebook. And that works really well because once you create a post and add that URL, this page here will come up as the image. And then when users click on it, they're actually coming back to your website. So that's pretty cool. Okay, that's the Homekeeper. And I think we have time for one more page. So I'm going to go back to the KW command, and this time I'm back at the dashboard right now for consumer. So let's create a new site. Again, it will be on my agent site, and I'll click create a page. And this time we're going to add a mortgage calculator. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to name that page calculator. Remember, this is just for my reference. The users don't see this title. So the first thing we need to do to add the calculator is we have the widgets here, and we'll get to that in a second. But I'm going to click here on the right at the bottom, layout blocks. And the reason I'm doing this is because in this section, it kind of formats the space of this page. And when I add the calculator, I don't want it to be off to the left or off to the right. I want it to be centered. And the easiest way to do that is to configure spaces on the page where I have a center section to put the calculator. So I'll choose this one here that says 1/3 section. Click it, drag it over, find my green bar, and I'll drop it. Now you can't see anything at first, but if you hover over it, you'll actually see there are 3 distinct spaces. So this center one is where I want the calculator to end up. So I'll go to content blocks, and I'll add a text block. And this is what we did before with the blog. I'm just laying it out a little differently. Okay, so now we need to go grab the code to put in here for the calculator. And what we use for that, again, free, very simple, is a website called, I have it loaded here, mortgagecalculator.org. mortgagecalculator.org. And when you arrive at this website, here in the black menu bar, you'll see the word widgets. And when I hover over that, it gives me 2 different, well, it gives a few options, but the 2 options you'd focus on would be a sidebar calculator. So that would be something if you would use if you had content on the page and you wanted the calculator just to be an added feature on the side. It's a smaller sidebar. But that's not what we're doing because the focus of our page is the calculator. So I'm going to click on full page calculator. When I do that and I scroll down a bit, you'll see the mortgage calculator that we're talking about. So this is what ours will look like. And right above the preview of the calculator is the code. And just like on Homekeeper, all we have to do is copy that code. So I've clicked copy, double click it just to be sure. I'm coming back to command, and here's my text box. I'm going to get rid of this default text, and I'll paste in the copy. So it looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo right now, but that actually is our calculator. Now, like I mentioned before, on every page, we always have to add at least 1 widget. So I'm going to come over here to the side and click on widgets. I'm going to go backwards just for a second. I could have also added a divider in between the calculator and my widget, but I'm just going to stick with adding a widget. And again, I think the one that makes sense is the contact form. So I'm going to click on that, drag it over, and drop it. See if it worked. Nope, didn't work. So I'm at the bottom, click on contact form. Oh, it did work, but it came up in the small content. Usually you don't have to do this, but I am going to click on no, I don't want that one. I'll click on a divider. Maybe that will help. No, it's still wanting to stick there. Okay, we're just going to go with the skinny contact form for the sake of time. I'm going to drop it down there. There we go. Okay. So that's all I'm going to add to this page. I'll come down here to the bottom right and click Configure Widget. Oh, let me see my widget. This is giving me some trouble here. Uh-oh, I'm in stuck mode.
Kim, try to refresh the page. It can happen sometimes, and it's okay.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we might be starting with a fresh page. That's okay. Come back here to the 1/3 sections. I'll drop that. And I'll go to the content and drop the text box in there. Maybe now before I add the calculator, I'll bring over the lead form. Yeah, that seemed to work. Okay, so now let's go back to the calculator. Copy that to my clipboard again, and then go to Command. Get rid of that default text and add the code. Okay, well, let's see how this works. I'm going to go back to the bottom right and configure the widgets. Oh, it's still happening. Well, I have an idea, but this isn't probably. Let's see if I can work around this. I'm going to put the contact form first, and then I'll go down to the layout blocks and add that section at the bottom. And then I'll add the text box in there. Try it one more time. Copy this code, come back to Command, enter it here. Okay, hope the third time is a charm. Configure the widgets. There, it worked. It looks a little funky. It would normally look like that way, but I don't know, today it's glitchy. So again, we need to configure the widgets. I'm going to click on Contact Form, and the only thing I'll change here is Contact Me instead of Us. and then save and apply. And save my changes. Would you like to publish this on your site? Yes. Okay. So now we'll actually add it to our site. And we do that by going to Site and App Settings. Now we're at the back end. Over here to Site Pages. And here's where we see the list of all the pages in the website. And this is what I meant to show you before. You can rearrange these. I'm going to click Add Page first of all. I'm going to find that calculator that we created. Didn't name it the last time, but there. And the title I'm giving it will be Mortgage Calculator. And I'll change the slug. You always want to keep the slug as short as possible. Okay, calculate your mortgage here. I'll leave that for the description. So I'll save the pages. It says the settings were updated successfully. So now we'll check out Meny's website. Go back to Agent Site Pages. Find his URL at the top. And when I click on the menu bar, there's the mortgage calculator. So, like we said, we got the very long and skinny version. That's just the glitch we were working with, but you get the idea. So those are three actually pages that you can add to the site. I'll go ahead and show you something else that we don't have time for today, but it's kind of cool to look at. I added this page to Meny's site, called it Virtual Listings. So this is some relevant content that you might use these days. Basically, I set up a page just like we did for the blog and just like we did for the calculator. I put different content blocks here. And for this one, for example, I dragged over a text box. For this one, I dragged over an image. And then I just started to upload images and write some text. The theme of this page was discover how to maximize your virtual listing. But you could do a lot of different things here. You could tweak it to be what you wanted, but this is just something right now that is, like I said, really relevant. Giving your clients some comfort that you can still do business virtually. And some of the topics that we chose were professional photography, e-signatures on docs, 3D virtual tours. You can do virtual meetings. So again, had to add the widget at the bottom. But this is just an example of something that you can add that's relevant for right now. Virtual anything is where we are, and this one kind of encompassed all of that. So I don't know, is there anything else, Meny, that you can think of that we should share?
No, let's keep it at that because it's a lot of information, and we will do another session just.
I think we lost Meny. Well, anyhow, thank you all for joining. And please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You can send me a message on KW Shares, and I can reach out to you and walk you through any of these steps or provide you with some of the images or the content that we talked about today. I'd be happy to do that. So thank you.
Great job, Kim.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Kim, can you hear me?
Yes?
Sorry, tech issues on my end. Happy,
Okay.
yeah, happy Tuesday. I said let's stop at this. It's a lot of information. We can share more. We're going to start to do like once a week session. So we're going to share more information. So for now, I think it's a lot. You guys out there can start to play with this and see what works, what doesn't work. And we'll meet you at the next session.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Kim, thank you so much. Bye, everybody. See you guys at 3
Bye.
o'clock. We have an amazing session at 3 o'clock with a special guest speaker from mommyshighfive.com. So if you have kids or if you want to help someone with their kids and you want to understand how to survive as a parent, 3 o'clock. See you there, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks, Kim.
Bye.